The role of a Sadguru in spiritual life is profound, yet often misunderstood. In a world that relies heavily on self-reliance and intellect, the notion of surrender to a guru may seem foreign or outdated. But for the sincere seeker, the Sadguru is not just a teacher or philosopher. The Sadguru is the living compass who redirects us from delusion to reality, from sorrow to bliss, from ego to divine absorption. The disciple's journey, no matter how sincere or well-intentioned, often encounters blind spots of pride, attachment, or confusion. It is the Sadguru who wipes clean the mirror of the heart, reveals the latent truth, and makes the seeker walk firmly on the path of God. What does the Guru do in reality? He asks you to wipe the dust off the face of the mirror, to cleanse the mind. He makes us aware of our misconceptions and mistakes. If a man dreams that he is drowning in a tank, he shouts for help. He becomes quiet when he is woken. The Guru wakes us up from our painful dream of ignorance and makes us aware of the reality. Only he can be said to have truly found a Sadguru who feels that he has reached the end of his quest and that there is nothing more to be achieved. A man in good worldly circumstances may feel there is nothing more to be desired, but there is no real respite for a mind which continues to hover over and hanker after one worldly thing and another. The Guru, after all, is what the disciple thinks of him. If the disciple approaches him in unreserved surrender, he takes the disciple under his unreserved guidance and protection. The Guru is indeed the divine name incarnate. True sadhana consists in obeying him implicitly, literally. No saint lives in the body for all time. What is important about a saint is his yearning for God. Many people do meet a saint but derive no benefit because they fail to understand the importance of association with him. Duty performed selflessly leads eventually to complete annihilation of all expectation. The Sadguru indicates to us what our duty is. You may own a motor car, but if it is without a proper driver, it may run into trouble. Even a simple bullock cart cannot be driven by a raw novice, even if he owns it. Man conducts his worldly affairs without proper guidance and lands himself into trouble. If you place the Sadguru at the helm, he steers you safely, clear of all obstructions. All you have to do is to keep yourself constantly absorbed in consciousness of God and rest carefree with trust in the Sadguru. Then you will be protected by him from danger. You will come to realize that whatever you are destined to get will automatically come, no more, no less. And this will eventually destroy all desire to have or not to have. Thereby you will realize that everything happens by divine will and dispensation. This will give you complete contentment. But all this can only happen if you are pure at heart. One of the most luminous examples of surrender to Guru's will and spiritual resilience is Sri Hemareddy Mallamma, a 14th century saint from Karnataka, and the only female saint among the revered Vachana poets. Born in a devout Lingayat family, she faced intense trials, especially from her own kin, due to her unwavering devotion to Lord Shiva and her spiritual path. Her brothers, threatened by her growing spiritual influence, not only disowned her, but subjected her to inhuman suffering, denying her food, shelter, and dignity. Yet Mallamma never complained, retaliated, or strayed from her inner vision of divine service. In her isolation and pain, she turned inward with intense surrender to Lord Shiva, who revealed himself to her in radiant form. What makes Mallamma's story so resonant with today's message is this: she didn't just suffer, she saw the Guru's will even in her torment. To her, every blow, every insult was a teaching from the divine, purifying her ego. She neither clung to anger nor begged for worldly justice. Eventually, her persecutors were transformed by her compassion and grace, and she became a spiritual beacon for generations. Like the Sadguru described in the main content, Shiva awakened her from the illusion of duality and, reinforced in her the truth that everything happens by divine will. In her surrender, she found supreme freedom. What does the Sadguru do? He shakes us out of spiritual slumber, purges the ego, and anchors us to the eternal. Just as Hemareddy Mallamma saw the divine hand in suffering and used it as a ladder to liberation, so must we view every experience, joyful or painful, as guided by the Guru's grace. The Sadguru does not simply answer our prayers, he reorients our soul. He may not always offer comfort, but he will always offer truth, a truth that liberates. In recognizing the Sadguru not merely as a person, but as the living, conscious force of divine grace, we stop being seekers and start becoming vessels of the ultimate. May we live with this awareness. To follow the Sadguru is not to chase miracles, but to become miracle-ready through surrender, purification, and unshakable trust in God's will.